Hello everyone, this is Helen H. and welcome to my channel, Moss Cottage. This is an H Homestead video, so if you're not interested in stuff like that, then it's not going to be a crafting video. That's all I have to say. I just want to show you a little bit of what I've been doing this fall up at the cabin. It's starting to get cool, so one of the things I'm doing, I hope you can see in there, I've started to harvest acorns. And acorns are actually a wild edible. It's kind of cumbersome, but you can make acorn flour, and I'm going to give that a try. So I've been picking up acorns, and I'll show you when we walk around the property. I'll show you where those come from. And, well, it's not full anymore because we made a fire last night, but I've been picking up kindling again, and I try to keep this full for Mr. Moss Cottage so that he can build us fires in our wood burning stove. And I made this little fall display. Sorry, the lighting's really bad here. I am under our porch, and these are just some things that I found yesterday. Some pretty leaves, some pine cones, and I love these. Now, I didn't know that you could actually get acorns. Well, I'm sure it's bad, but it's black. It's a black acorn. Isn't that cool? I love that. And then I went foraging this morning, and I found these thistles here. I need to identify what they are. I have a book that I can look what kind of thistles these are, because they might be something that I could use for tea. They're almost coming to an end. You can see these are all spent flower heads. There might be seeds that I might save or in here. But I just wanted to see what that is first before I spread it all over the place. So let's go on. I'm just going to grab this here, this coffee can, because this is filled, not with coffee. It is filled, and it's going to be a bumpy ride, guys. I'm trying to film this with one hand here, and I'm walking around. It is filled with debris for the compost pile, because we've been working on building some compost. Now, we have lots and lots of leaves. The whole forest, I mean, we have 6 acres up here, and it's hardwood. Most of it is hardwoods. It's oaks and locust and things like that. But so they put off a great number of leaves, and we made the mistake. We've only lived here a year and a half, so this will be our second winter. We made the mistake last fall of removing the leaves from the yard, and this time we're going to leave them and let them decompose. But we have a lot of leaves here, and this is a great compost pile right here. I turned it yesterday, but it is decaying wonderfully. So this is just food scraps, and there. That's all. Now, mostly, I don't put eggshells. We don't eat meat because we're vegetarians, but I don't put things like eggshells in here. I don't want to attract raccoons or anything like that. So, generally, this compost here, the stuff that is vegetable matter, I throw on that. That's all. Like nothing, no protein goes on there. But that being said, I think my husband violated the rule there, because I saw some celery and carrot shavings in there. Most of that stuff we put in the freezer in a baggie. When we get a baggie full, we make broth, vegetable broth with it. So we call it garbage soup, because it's the ends of carrots, the leaves we don't use from celery, or anything that's just a little bit beyond its usable. I'll just show you. These are 2 piles of wood here that will burn in our fire pit. We have yet to have a fire in the fire pit, because in the summer it's just not so fun when it's so hot to have a fire pit. So, yeah. So a new addition for us this year is this rain barrel here. It's a 55-gallon rain barrel. It fills up super quickly because the way the roof is, the gutter is capped let's see here, the gutter's capped on that far side, so all the water from the roof comes down into here. So this thing fills up really quickly. And to have some water up here is important because we do have a well. However, it's electric, so if we don't have power, we don't have water. We do have a Berkey water filter, so I could literally put that rainwater in my Berkey. But mostly we have that rainwater. There's the fire pit. See, it's never been used. I'm thinking maybe this afternoon, if it's not too breezy. See, up here in the mountains in the fall, I don't want to get the sunlight directly in the camera, but it's always a little bit breezy. You see the leaves and the trees moving. It's always a little bit breezy. Anyway, the main reason that we saw, okay, back to this. So I may, if it stays like this or is no wind, I might have a fire this afternoon. But the main reason we got the water barrel was for these. Now we built these this summer. These raised beds made out of logs. Now these ends are going to all be trimmed off evenly, more evenly. Now this is a joint project between Mr. Moss Cottage, myself, and our next door neighbors up the mountain. They're actually in West Virginia. They live about a quarter of a mile. The next house is a quarter of a mile up the road. And they live in the woods, so it's very hard for them to grow food. She's the one that has come faithfully and watered all my herbs up here all summer. Where's my finger? Here. These herbs right here. She watered those all summer. She came and watered them for me telling her just take what you want, you know, take as many herbs as you want. But we built these beds, and I'll show you where the others are going to be. But look, okay, right here, that's kale. Kale. We have kale growing up here. Yay! Now in the middle, it's chard. It's Swiss chard in the middle, and then the other side is kale. And the same thing on the other bed. It's kale, Swiss chard, and kale. So I watered these last night. The kale's coming up. I don't see a lot with the Swiss chard, but there is some in here. She did see one or two little things. So this is mainly why we got the rain barrel. But I want to show you, go this way, okay. So if you can see here, there, we've got like little blue, you might see little blue things. Those are rocks with blue tape on them. And we're going to build 2 more beds like this behind these two, here and here. And then eventually we're going to build some more over here and here. And then we're going to put gravel around the fire pit. The reason being, this front yard is just rock and weeds. Nothing grows on it. Nothing nice grows on it. But I wanted something to look nice when you pull up to the house. So when these are all filled with vegetables and fruits, and we're going to build some smaller ones in the back for flowers, and then these herbs will be planted. We're going to build some right along here, right along the front of that porch, because it will protect them over the winter, because they will be left here over the winter. It'll protect them a little bit over the winter if we put them in there. So we'll go back this way. Now we're going to go down the front yard. So here's the driveway. Okay, so now the other thing that I have been working on fairly regularly, and my neighbor came, the one who's doing the gardening with us, we want to plant fruit trees up here. This gets fantastic sunlight. So we have got all of this mess here. You can see all of this mess here is wild blackberries. Okay. Now they had not been tended. We didn't do anything with them last year. I want to just show you, they go all the way down our yard, down the hill, all the way down there. And then behind there, there's a very behind there, there's a very steep drop and the road goes down there. Anyway, so these blackberries have been neglected for, I don't know, my husband thinks that they weren't even ever supposed to be here, that you know, they were not planted, they were wild blackberries and they've just kind of grown. So no one has tendered them. So what we have done, my neighbor and myself have come in and cut back. Now we missed this one here, but see this dead one here? These were all covered over with dead canes and everything, you know, the prickly canes, and so we had to pull them all out. We've only gotten like maybe from this part, like from here up to here done. It's a chore, and when you go in there, you know, step in here, you get caught up in the prickles and everything, so you have to wear, you know, the right clothing, the right boots and everything, whatever. But that being said, I think if we walk around here, I can show you a little bit more of what they were like before. Now, on both sides of where the wild blackberries are, over on this side here and over on this side here, are huckleberries. Not this. This is mountain laurel. No, I'm sorry. This is huckleberries. These are huckleberries here. So if you don't know what a huckleberry is, it's like a little wild blueberry, and they're so, so good. So when I picked my blackberries this summer, I also picked huckleberries and froze them together, actually. Okay, so you can see here, all this is dead, dead, dead. You know, there's a lot of dead here. Everything here is like dead. So we've been going in and pulling out all the dead stuff, cutting it way back, and cutting off where we need to cut this off here where the berries were and they're all dead. That needs to come off. And then in March, we will cut them way back. We'll find, like, each blackberry only needs one cane or one stalk coming up. So in March, we will come through and cut down the blackberries and just leave like one healthy cane per shrub. Now down here, I'm not going to go all the way down here just in case they're down here. Now, I think the sun's too bright, you're not going to be able to see. But behind these blackberries here, there are some giant boulders. Right here, behind this right here, I was picking blackberries in the summer, and I walked all the way down there. There was a perfect circle in the blackberries, like they had been mashed down in a perfect circle right up against the boulder there. And I know that that is where our mother deer had been leaving her babies, her twins. She had twins, and that's the little safe place. And I thought, well, how smart of her, because they were completely covered with the boulders on one side and then blackberry bushes on the front. Unless you were really looking for them, you would not be able to see them. So that was a good place for her to hide her babies. So we're coming back up here. There's just ferns in here. This is the huckleberry, and it's on its way out. You can see it's starting to turn. Our nights now are getting down to about 40. This is mountain laurel here. This is the bane of my existence. I hate this stuff. It's not invasive because it is here. I mean, this is a mountain and this is where it lives, but it's really aggressive. So I'm going to have to get an axe and cut down all the mountain laurel that's encroaching on my fruits and fruits up front in here. So I'm just going to take you up here and show you. It's going in the shade. So these trees here and these trees here are mostly oak. So if you look down, this is where I've been getting my acorns from. That's a good one right there. You don't want to get them if they've got weird spots or stuff on them. You want them pretty clean. And I believe this is from a white oak. A white oak. So I got all this to go through, all this, and I'm just going to walk you up the driveway to show you a couple other little things that I've been working on here. Now, last time we were here 2 weeks ago, I guess, my neighbor had given me some lilies, daylilies. And so I planted them along here because it's really bad soil. It's not even, I wouldn't even call it soil. It's just, ugh. So I planted the daylilies here. Now they don't look good because I just planted them and it's been getting cold, but they will grow up here because I want to have flowers up here. I desperately want to have some pretty flowers up here. So the last thing I'm going to show you is we come up here. I'm just going to point you toward the house for a minute because I don't want to show my license plate number. Not that I'm a fugitive or anything. It's nothing like that. So, this is where I was this morning. You saw at the beginning of this video me foraging something with red berries. And this is more. I went out this morning to get more. This is autumn olive right here. And this is an invasive plant. This was planted by the forestry department at the bottom of mountains to stop erosion and to provide undercover for animals. But the berries are edible. They're really good. And so I had picked a whole bunch and froze them. And I decided, well, you know what? It's free food and they're delicious. I'll see if I can, let me pick off a berry or two here, show you what they look like. Oops. Okay. This is what the berries look like, and they have like little silvery dots on them, I guess you would say. But they're really good. Right now they're sweet. Yummy. So I'm freezing these. Yesterday I actually made myself a smoothie with autumn olive and wild blackberries that I had picked this summer and froze. And almond milk and a banana. And guys, it was so good. It was so good. So that's the kind of thing I've been doing around here. A little bit of foraging, a little bit of gardening. This is our backyard here. This view. Let me just take you back here real quick. This is nice. I'm not going this way though because I was out here yesterday and there's a ginormous cobweb and I don't want to walk in it. And I'm always thinking I'm going to turn a corner around here and walk right into a bear. But I think I would hear it. Okay. Alright, so this is like and I don't know if you can see, but the mountain just goes up and up and up and up and up and up. And I think our property, we haven't had it surveyed, I think our property goes all the way up this mountain up here. Yeah. So it looks a little messy back here because we did cut down some of the trees for the raised beds back here. But now we're going to wait until the leaves are off the trees so we can really look at the trunks and cut some more and have them ready for spring so that we can make some more beds, some more raised beds. So, this way. If you hear any noise, it's just things falling out of the trees, nuts and leaves and sticks. And there's our beautiful mountain view. It's just so gorgeous. And I am going to be sitting on our front deck, our front porch, and get those autumn olives picked off the vines, washed up and frozen. And one other thing I want to show you, this has nothing to do, you can see kind of that the trees are starting to go, and I think over here we have one that's a little bit orange. But in general, the mountains are just getting a little bit rusty, not too much, but I don't know if you can see over here let's see, right here. I might have to get up closer. I can't see if you can see what I'm seeing. Anyway, right here, these rips in the thing, in the net here, the screen, right here. You see this, how that's rippled right there? You know what that is? That was a bear. He was trying to get onto the front porch. The people who owned the house before us had left their barbecue out and didn't clean it, and he was trying to get onto the porch, and those claw marks are from a bear. So I've told you I've seen seen evidence of bears here. I haven't never seen a bear yet. Lots and lots of deer come into our yard. They like to eat the grass here. Matter of fact, that mom and her baby and some other girls come up here. And then these are my little herbs. Now these are going to get a water today, and then I think these are coming home with me. It's getting a little cool for them on the mountain. Like I said, it is getting into the 40s at night. So, yeah, they need to come home. Now, next year they'll be big enough, like the rosemary, the thyme, and the lavender should be big enough that if we build them some beds right here up against this lattice, that they will be protected enough that we could leave them here for the winter from next year on. So guys, that's it. I'm enjoying the fall in the mountains, and I hope you like this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you all are doing to prepare for winter where you are, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please give me a thumbs up, and until the next video, guys, I hope you're all truly blessed. Bye bye.